Hi, I'm C.C. Péan, and this is Reclaiming Your Health.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Reclaiming Your Health. I am your host, C.C. Péan. I'm so excited to be here with you all today. Today, we are doing something that is so different and unique. And I'm going to tell you now, don't come for me. You traditionalists who are used to doing things a certain way, part of what we do with Reclaiming Your Health is remix traditions. We take things from how they were done in the old country, how we grew up eating them, and we give them a healthier spin. So today, I need you to take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. We are fixing cauliflower rice and peas. Yes. No white rice, cauliflower rice. If you look right here, we have a bag of cauliflower pearls. Okay. You can buy them like this, or you can buy a head of cauliflower, break it up, put it in your food processor, pulse it, and it will break down to this. This is about as fine as we want it. We don't want it super fine because we don't want it to turn into mush like mashed potatoes. We still want it to have some texture, okay? So this is our cauliflower rice. This dish, you know, rice and peas and rice, arroz con gandules, habichuelas y arroz. These are known all over the African diaspora. And every country kind of has their own spin on it, in that some people call it rice and peas, some people call it peas and rice, etc. Ours today is not only going to have the cauliflower rice, but we're going to have some kidney beans. You can use red beans, you can use gunga peas or pigeon peas, as I grew up eating. You can use that. Any peas work fine, or beans work fine. Because this dish is inspired today by the Caribbean, especially inspired by Haitian culture. My husband is Haitian, Jamaican, and Cuban, and something that Haitians use quite often in their dishes that is so different and so lovely is clove. They call it girofle. Typically, they actually drop the actual clove piece in there, but I'm using ground clove because if anybody tells you one of the worst experiences is to be yamming down or eating a bowl of some food and then you bite onto one of those cloves, it completely ruins your experience. But this powder, this is the key. Also, we are going to be using coconut milk. Yes, we are. You know I'm in love with coconut milk. And because we're not using white rice, we're going to indulge with a little bit of coconut milk. Now, this is low fat. It's reduced fat coconut milk. So it's going to give you some of the lusciousness, but without all the fat. And then we have our usual suspects, which are onion, garlic. We have a sprig of fresh thyme. We have some parsley. We have green onions, and we have red bell pepper. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to crush up my garlic. I have about 3 or 4 garlic cloves here. I love garlic. Garlic is like the basis for everything savory I cook. I honestly can't think of one thing that I fix savory that does not have garlic in it. And I love this little tool because it like minces my garlic for me. Look at that. It's right there, just ready for me to scoop out. So I've got that. I'm just going to put that aside. I'm going to cut up a little bit of onion. This is probably going to equate to like half of or like the size of a medium onion. So I'm just going to cut this like that. Hope you all can see me. Hope that bag is not blocking. And so we're just going to cut this. It doesn't have to be finely minced. We just want it uniformly chopped. Okay. So we're done with that. We've got our pan over medium-high heat. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of avocado oil. And I'm going to drop my onion in. Let that start cooking. Now, the key with a really good pot of rice and peas, or as we're making today, cauliflower rice and peas, is to make sure that your beans, that they're well seasoned. That's the key. You don't want something to bite into your rice and peas and your beans and they're bland. So the key, which I learned from my sister-in-law, Suze Péan, for Haitian rice and peas, which I really think I think that they've cornered the market on delicious rice and peas, is you have to aggressively season your beans. So these are cooking. I'm going to chop up some scallion to go in there, probably the equivalent of like 2 stalks. Now the thing with rice and peas is you can keep it as plain or you can make it as colorful. I'm just going to pull these apart because I didn't cut them well enough. But the more that you add to it, the more flavorful it's going to be. Okay. And because we're using this cauliflower, like rice, it doesn't really have flavor. So we need to really make sure that our bean mixture is flavorful. So we put some green onion in there. Something else that is used quite often in Haitian culture is parsley. I never really used to like parsley, but as I've gotten older, the herbaceousness of it, I find myself liking. So that's going to go in there as well. Some fresh parsley. And I did not forget my garlic. I'm just waiting for everything to kick in, start cooking. Also to this, we're going to add a little bit of red bell pepper. We want that sweetness and we want the color as well. Actually, you know what? Let me move this bag because I think it's in the way. Just lower that. Yep. So now you can see what I'm doing on the board. So I'm just going to cut some slices of this bell pepper. While this is sauteing in the pan. Now, I know my sister-in-law, Suze, she quite often uses green bell peppers, but you know, I don't like green bell peppers because they have a kind of a bitterness to me. So I don't use them, but I'm using the sweet bell peppers. Something else that's quite often used in rice and peas is hot pepper. But I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper straight to the pot, as opposed to using like a whole pepper. In my mom's country, there's weary pepper, of course, there's Scotch bonnet, there's habanero, there's all kinds of different peppers. I like to use a little bit of sprinkle of pepper because then I feel like I can control it more. One of the worst things for you to happen is to cook a pot of rice and peas and you put like a pepper in there and it like bursts open. I mean, some people can eat that, I can't. So I like a little bit more control. So this is frying. This is sauteing actually. It's sauteing. Okay, I'm hearing it starting to sizzle. I love rice and peas. I love it, love it, love it. I mean, it's one of those things that I literally can just get a bowl of it. If it's seasoned well, I will have my rice and peas and I'll have a piece of avocado and I'm straight. Maybe a little bit of gravy here and there, but even if I don't have gravy, rice and peas and some avocado, deliciousness. Okay. So you know it's cooking well when it's fragrant. When it's fragrant, you know that it is cooking well. All right, so now I can add my garlic. I'm just gonna coax that off. And I'm adding my garlic later because the worst thing to happen is for your garlic to burn. So now, if you look at this, we always talk about eating the rainbow. Let's get an overhead shot of this. This is beautiful. Can you see it? See if I can bring this a little. There we go. And I can move this board out of the way because I'm finished chopping. Okay. This is smelling lovely. So now is when we add our beans. Now, something else that's key to Haitian style rice and peas is they typically keep the liquid from the beans because it helps to not only flavor, but color the rice. But we're not going to worry about that today. So now we've got our kidney beans with our onions, our garlic, our bell pepper, some parsley, some scallion. And here is when I am going to add my clove. So this is probably, I would say this is about 1/4 teaspoon. You don't want more than that because it will definitely overwhelm your pot. So we're cooking this. Let's see. I'm gonna get this a little closer to me. It smells lovely. All right. I'm gonna take a couple pinches of my mushroom salt. You could add more onion powder if you wanted, more garlic powder if you wanted, because that's not adding salt, but it's definitely adding flavor. Let me just drop some of my thyme in here while this is all cooking. I usually just drop the whole thing in there, but because this is cauliflower rice and it's not cooking long, I'm gonna pull it off the stem. All right, so now we're ready to add our cauliflower. I'm just gonna pour it right in there. I'm gonna mix it in a bit. I'm gonna make sure everything is well incorporated. This is great also for people if you're a diabetic and you can't do that rice. This is great for you because it's hearty, it's substantive, and it is good for you. So I've got this mixed up pretty well. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this coconut milk over this mixture. And this is going to help with contributing moisture to the dish. It's going to help it cook. So I'm just going to, I thought I saw the stem from my, thyme. This is looking lovely. It's smelling lovely. Okay, so I'm just making sure that that coconut milk is incorporated and well mixed. Okay, So we added a cup of coconut milk, and this is 16 ounces. So this is about 2 cups. Basically, it's the 2 to 1. So we've got 2 cups of the cauliflower rice to 1 cup of coconut milk. So it's pretty much the same ingredients. I'm just gonna cover this for a little bit just to create some steam. Clean up a little bit in here. Curious to know what your favorite beans or peas are to use for rice and peas. Would love to know that. Like I said, I grew up eating gunga peas. My mother was from Guyana, South America, and gunga peas or pigeon peas were something that was rice and peas. The only time I ever had like kidney beans was when we would have dinner with my mom's good friends who were from Jamaica. But in our house, my mother never fixed kidney beans or red beans. If we had rice and peas, it was gunga peas / pigeon peas. And it was coconut milk, and it was fresh thyme and a little bit of pepper in the rice. So that was my experience. But since I have grown and traveled and experienced and married, I have had it so many different ways. But however it is, it's my favorite dish. Like, there's something in my mother's culture called cook-up rice, which is a 1-pot dish where everything is in it. Rice, coconut milk, the peas or the beans, chicken is in it, beef is in it. It's just like a pot of loveliness, and it's like my favorite thing. Not doing the meat anymore, so you put other things in there, but still same approach. Okay, so this is, ooh, you see that steam? It's steaming through very nicely. Now, again, this doesn't take long to cook, and we don't want it to cook a long time because we don't want it to get mushy. We still want to have some texture. And there may be times, depending on, your cauliflower, sometimes it'll take a little bit more moisture to cook. But what you will start to see is the pearls or the cauliflower rice will start to get translucent. And when that happens, it's just about ready. Again, the key is you don't want it to cook down into mush. But this looks so good, and it smells even better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a spoon and taste for not only flavor, but for texture. So let's see. The texture is almost there, but we definitely, at this point, I'm gonna add a little bit of my cayenne. So just a few shakes of that. Whoopsie-doo. I am going to add a little bit more of my mushroom salt to this. Mix this up a little more. This looks amazing. And by the way, I've been cooking this over a medium-high heat the entire time. You don't want it too high because you don't want the moisture, you don't want the liquid to evaporate too quickly. We want it to do its job, which is to steam through the cauliflower. Okay, so I'm going to taste this again for texture and flavor. Now, I think I used a bit too much pepper, but that's okay. I'm gonna eat this with avocado, which is gonna take, that creaminess is gonna take a little bit of the heat off. So let's get ready to plate because we're done. So you could serve this with some lovely grilled tofu. You could serve it with grilled veggies. You could serve it, of course, with some type of veggie meat if you wanted to. My husband's best friend, Eddie Lérisson, he does wonderful things, wonderful substitutes. Like he does quinoa and peas instead of rice and peas. There's so many things we can do nowadays that we can capture some of our tradition, but give it a healthier spin. So this is going to go right in the center of our bowl. And I mean, it's so much healthier. Oops. Okay, I'm just going to move this off because I don't want it to keep cooking. And I actually need my cutting board again because I'm going to put some avocado on this. But you all take a look at this so far. Look at that. They look yummy. Take some of this avocado. Perfect. Perfection. Press it down. Add it to our bowl. And I have some spring greens that I sliced earlier. And this is our final dish, cauliflower rice and peas with coconut milk, some sliced avocado. This is a complete meal, people. You've got your protein from your beans, you've got your carbs from your cauliflower, you've got your fat. This is, come on, give it a try. Give it a try. Doesn't have to be real rice. It can be cauliflower rice. Let's try different things. It may not taste exactly the same, but it's even better for your body. So, try it. Cauliflower rice and peas, coconut milk, fresh thyme, parsley, scallion, girofle, or clove as it is known, some cayenne pepper. What else do we have in there? Just deliciousness. I would love to see you all try this. The recipe, of course, we have shared on the Reclamation Project page. Try it, take a picture, share it with us. We want to know that you all are trying these things, that you're incorporating healthiness into your diet. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.